Imagine waking up to the biggest sky you've ever seen in a place where your dreams can take flight.
This is it.
Wow.
Hey, look at that view.
This is our Property Brothers expert. Yes.
Right.
You know everything.
I do.
Yeah, good to see you.
It's good to see you. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm so excited about this show. I loved it. I was so surprised by how different it is from the other ones. And something that also really stuck out to me was like, it has like the Yellowstone vibes, you know, the ranches and all that stuff. And I had to ask, if you were in a Western, what would your cowboy names be?
Oh, what would the cowboy names be? Well, first off, our show has less corruption and murder than Yellowstone.
I would say Long John Silver. It's more of a pirate name.
More of a pirate name,
yeah.
But being that my middle name is Silver.
Maybe go by my middle name, Alfred.
We were actually talking about it earlier because like we have our hats, our actual hats here. Stand by. And I was thinking to myself, I just realized I've always had a black hat. Does that mean I'm the villain?
Oh, you never know. I mean, there has to be
right.
more good versus evil. I don't know.
I'm gonna talk like this for the rest of this interview.
No, it looks good. You guys have that really cool vibe. Like I could see you at the Calgary Stampede. You know, like I don't know.
You know, here's a fun fact: our dad rode in the Calgary Stampede twice.
Amazing. Yeah.
So we were taught the cowboy code by a true, authentic cowboy. Our dad left Scotland as a kid. And he worked his way over when he was 16 on a ship. He had no money to his name because he used to watch cowboy movies and he wanted to live in the Rockies and be a cowboy. So he did that for decades, met our mom. And then that's when we were born and we had the ranch. We grew up doing all that cowboy stuff you would think about. And that's what this show is fun because all of the homeowners had this dream of living on a ranch and having this quiet life. And they didn't realize how much actual work it was to do that.
I will say then, you know, I do love that your mom and dad met that way. It feels like a rom-com. It's so adorable.
It does,
But one of the most grounding parts of this show that I love so much is the flashbacks and the photos and the childhood stories. Did that sort of experience change how you see your own childhood when producing this show?
I mean, it was very nostalgic, so it was definitely pulling us back. What I thought was funny is after every day of filming, production would reach out and say, hey, you told a story about when you guys were both on a horse together as kids and blah, blah. And so every day we would be finding new photos to send them and new memories. And so that was sort of opening up all of those memories for us as well. And there's nothing like it, you know, and that's what I say, even with all the humor in the show about, you know, someone who wants a chicken ranch only to find out they're afraid of chickens and this show is really funny. There's nothing like growing up on a ranch. The memories that we have as kids, and I think of that for our own kids as well, how important it is to think about what will give you the best quality of life. And really, I think this move for these families, it's a bold move to leave the city, but it's the right move.
Well, even the viewers, you know, even if they're not thinking of leaving the city, this show will give them something to think about because you see how much further your dollar can stretch out in the country. It's a different lifestyle. It's a different type of living, but there's still a lot to learn. And it's not like everybody's looking to have a ranch style home or a farmhouse, something dusty and dirty. Like a lot of these homeowners, they wanted a modern, newly renovated home. They just want some acreage and a property for their business. And ranch life is different for everyone. We had a horse ranch growing up. We had crops as well, but some people want cattle, some want chickens. Some of our homeowners, they wanted a wellness retreat or a business that was like a wedding event venue. So whatever ranch life means to them is different. We just wanted to make sure they had the reality check to know what they're getting into.
And, you know, you do show homes with like the beautiful wraparound porches, the event spaces. And I was so surprised by the tornado shelter. I think it just makes sense to have one when you're in that area. Were there any features this season that truly shocked you too about some of these homes that they're so different? And obviously being Canadian, you know, our houses are so different. Even the price ranges are different.
Well, we live in igloos up in Canada, so an igloo ranch is a common thing.
So we filmed in Texas, we filmed in Arizona, we filmed in California, North and Southern California. For me, there's a variety of architecture everywhere. What I thought was more interesting is some of the surrounding areas and the things that you're used to. So in some places, we were trying to showcase to people, well, if you're living in the country here, you got to realize there's snakes and scorpions and spiders and all of these things that you might not find in the city. So don't just go diving in and like grabbing a log to chop some wood. You got to kind of give it a kick and be prepared. You know, you're a long way away from a hospital when you're living on a ranch, so you got to make sure you're being careful. But I remember in Texas when we were filming there, they've got these banana spiders. I think that's what they were called.
Gosh, they're like
these spiders. and apparently they're totally harmless, but they are terrifyingly large.
Creepy.
And so we were seeing all of this, and I'm like, there was one that was like on the door where we needed to get into this building. I'm like, I don't want to move it. Do you want to move it?
Yeah, I had to look it up to make sure it was safe. But the other thing too is every region's a little different. Not necessarily just the architecture, but also what you have to help your business thrive. In some areas that we were taking families, in order for them to, margins are really tight with ranch living. And so if you want to make money, whether it's boarding horses or whether it's running an event business, you have to get in there and do some of the work yourself, sweat equity, rolling up those sleeves. But, there's one area where there are bees everywhere. But in that jurisdiction, if you actually had a bee farm, so you could set it up and actually have them sort of colonize in a certain section, you can actually save on your taxes dramatically. So there were unique ways that we had learned in certain regions to help educate the homeowners where they could save tens of thousands of dollars here that could go into other aspects of their business to make it thrive. So
yeah, the romance of the land is very different, especially like when I was looking at one of the houses, I think in Texas, it was a beautiful house, but like there's also a septic tank there because like you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have to figure out like, all like how close are you to also civilization and the Starbucks. But no, I don't.
You're using words that some city people won't even know what they are. A septic tank? What's a septic tank? Well, guess what? In the middle of the country, you don't have city water and you don't have city sewer. So yeah, you've got to provide your own. You got to find a well, pump the water up, and obviously it happens automatically. But the same with septic. So these are all things that these city folks didn't even think about.
Interesting. See how much I've learned over the years. I know about these things now from you guys.
Yes.
You're the property sister. Yeah,
of course. Jonathan, in the premiere, you say that it's all about give and take. And I think we've seen this throughout every show, but do you find that couples often only discover what really matters to them once they actually are seeing what's out there?
I think more often than not, once they start looking at what's out there, sometimes they get a little starry-eyed and then they start going toward the shiny stuff like, ooh, we could have our own lake on the property, or ooh, more land. And then they kind of forget about, well, more land means more maintenance. And, how are we going to handle, one person wanted to have like, what did she say, 30 horses or 40 horses or something? We had 30 horses growing up. Oh my God, you have no idea. There's always a horse that's sick. There's always something that's happening. And so those are things you got to balance out. But there is, if you approach it properly, like a business, making smart decisions, there's no better lifestyle. And it really is a great move. But we just always encourage people to be realistic.
But also sort of what you're saying, several of the homeowners, they've been dreaming for decades about a certain aspect of ranch life that they love. There's this one of the homeowners, he just wanted tons of land. He wanted 1,000 acres, but he had never actually gone to a ranch property before. He had only looked at it online or seen it in movies. So we're like, you got to get out there and see what this means and see how much work it actually is. And so it was kind of fun to pull the veil off their eyes so they could actually see what they're talking about doing. I'm actually surprised that they all still went forward buying a ranch property, because I thought some of the homeowners would sort of reality check and then go back to the city.
Yeah, I really loved when you guys also went back to Miguel and Tani's episode, afterwards, like after a couple of months, we get to see, like they were talking about, like even the winter was really harsh on the land and they didn't know about that, but they were getting adjusted. And that was so important to know, because there is like a really big knowledge behind every home you find. Like you need to figure out the situation.
Yeah.
I am getting the wrap though. Unfortunately, it always goes by so fast with you guys. But I want you to be honest. Who remembers how to saddle up faster, Drew or Jonathan?
I think Jonathan had me on that. I think the first time I threw the saddle on and I hopped on, it was a little bit loose and I almost fell around the belly side of the horse.
You put the saddle on the wrong side of the horse.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's like a bicycle. I'm a little rustier than I thought I'd be.
No, it's always great to see you guys. Both of you should be wearing those cowboy hats all the time. You're both very good people. I'm so excited for the show, and I cannot wait to see all these episodes. I think it's really fun to see something different out of the whole Property Brothers franchise.
Yeah, no, thanks, Tanya. We'll see you again soon.
Next soon.